Hey, welcome to Indie Quest, a celebration of the indie and obscure, your podcast all about indie video games and how much we love them. I'm your host, Josh, and I'm here with my co-host, Steve. How you doing, man?
I am doing good today. You know, it was the last day of work for the week for me, so just got some time to chill, relax, and play some good games.
Today, we're going to do IQ OST again, where we just sit down and listen to some tunes. But we do have a theme this time. We decided we want to do like chill beats to study or relax to edition? Question mark. It's not really that per se. It's not lo-fi hip hop beats. It's going to be just 5 songs each that are super chill. And we're doing it the same way we did it on the first episode of these. Is we both picked 5 songs and the other person doesn't know what the song is. All we see is a YouTube link. So we will get the surprise reveal on each of these songs and then listen to the songs together and talk about why we picked them and have a little just listening session. Sound like fun?
Should be a good time. Like you said, we both were a little loosey-goosey, you know, took some liberties with the lo-fi chill theme. I would say I kept it in the ballpark, though, you know. If you had a playlist on YouTube that included the word relax in it, it would not be unreasonable to put any of my 5 songs into that playlist, which I think is kind of the lowest bar I needed to cross here.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. I feel like one of them might be a little more like upbeat than you would probably find on the playlist, but I would probably throw it in there and just give it a pass still. If I put it on my playlist, like, oh, this is good vibes here, so all these are going to make you feel good. Who wants to go first here? That's what I want to ask. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You know what? I think, why don't we have you throw a song at me first?
First song we have is a Minecraft song. I kind of cheated. Minecraft's an indie game, right?
I think so. You know, it's funny. It'll come up later. I swapped one of mine out last minute because I had the same kind of dilemma with myself where I was like, is this indie? But I think absolutely we can count Minecraft as indie because it certainly was at one point.
This is a really great song. This is a song that you'll hear in the background if you leave the music on in Minecraft. Some people don't. I know a lot of people probably mute it and listen to a podcast because that's the style of game it is. But there have been so many times that I've had just this song play at like the most perfect opportunity while I'm playing Minecraft. And it's called Living Mice. And it's just really chill background, just feel good song. So how about we sit down and listen to it?
Sounds good.
just imagine this song playing, right? You start a brand new world. So everybody gets the basic premise of Minecraft. You're in a world where there's infinite possibilities. You're having this very just survival experience. And as you finally get to like a really nice area in the map and you're like on top of a mountain and then the sun starts setting and this song starts playing. That type of thing.
Yeah, it fits perfect. And what I really liked about it is it just like kind of builds and layers consistently over the course of the song. Like at the very beginning, it's so quiet that I almost was like, oh, do I got to turn my volume up? Did I turn the volume down for my tab in my browser or something? But by the end, like it's so full, so rich. And I don't know if it's like a coincidence or if this is intentional in the game too. And this doesn't play very well over radio, but the video we're watching kind of shows like a sunrise in a Minecraft world as it starts to layer and build up. And I imagine the song was kind of written with the passage of time sort of in mind.
Yeah, a lot of times I think this one mostly appears and plays during like when you start a brand new world. I feel like that's the main time I've heard this. Of course, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild. It's a good example. There's not very much music in Minecraft, but it always comes at like just random intervals, and that's why it builds like that, because it kind of sneaks up on you. And a lot of the tracks will do that too. So you just be playing and you might just be mining, digging somewhere for like 30, 45 minutes, and then this will just build in, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm chill right now. You know, it just kind of adds that to the atmosphere of just, I'm just kind of tinkering away, you know, having a good time in Minecraft. So the music in this game is pretty iconic to me. There's a lot of tracks like I was listening to this just now, getting little chills, just remembering all the different times, you know, and all the different experiences I've had in Minecraft. So I thought that would be a good way to kick it off either way.
Any of those kind of everlasting games, those games that you put hundreds of hours into, it's funny how ingrained in you the music can get. Like, it's not indie at all, but I always go back to some of the music that's in Hearthstone, which is a game I've put probably almost 1,000 hours into. And it's like, you don't want to listen to the music in Hearthstone for 1,000 hours, but you get so familiar with it because, you know, you forget to mute the music and put on a podcast, or you forget to do something else with it. And by the end, you're like, man, that song, like, turns out actually kind of means a lot more to me than I realized. It's pretty cool how it builds up with you.
Yeah, it's like any other game, and you start in the sound cues and all that stuff. I feel like there's two senses that like trigger the most like nostalgia and memories. It's like hearing and then taste, you know, or smell. Yep. But like if you hear something like that, it just kind of triggers like a memory. At least for me, I know I hear this song and then I just start getting super nostalgic and sentimental. So it's good times.
Absolutely. Game music always brings me back very, very effectively.
But yeah, if you haven't checked out the Minecraft soundtrack, it's by C418. There's actually 2 full soundtracks. Some that are just songs he made for the game that aren't actually in the game. Almost brought one called Droopy Is Your Face. That's the name of the song. It's not in the game itself. So I was like, you know, it kind of would suit this tone, but I wanted to bring something from the game. So that's why I brought this song specifically. But I suggest just going through and listening. Like if you're just working, studying, you know, doing anything, you just need some like chill background music, the soundtrack's just excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. As anyone who's probably listened to this show before knows, I haven't really ever played Minecraft, but I'll be danged if the music isn't good. All right, so my first pick here, we have a song from the game Crosscode. Can't remember. Have you played Crosscode?
I have dabbled, but I haven't played much of it. I know what it is and how it looks and everything, but I haven't played a lot of it.
All right, cool. So for anyone unfamiliar, Crosscode is a relatively recent action RPG. Plays like almost like a top-down Zelda-style game. I guess it's unfair to say every top-down action RPG is a Zelda game, but it's just such an easy point of comparison. The whole game, though, is sort of built around this idea that you are controlling an avatar in an in-world, in-fiction MMO game. So you meet other like people that have avatars that are added to your friends list and stuff. It all takes place within this world. And because of that, the music is basically like trying to find a halfway point between its sort of like pixelated Super Nintendo style graphical style and it's the fact that it's an MMO. So you get like a mix between like kind of that sweeping and electronic music. And so this is a song that plays in one of the earlier areas and you end up hearing it relatively often as you like travel back through this area to get to different parts of the game. So yeah, this is Awakened from Crosscode.
Well, wasn't that lovely?
No kidding. Do you see what I mean? How it's kind of, it has a little bit of an MMO vibe, but it definitely feels like something that could have been put out on like the Sega Genesis or the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I definitely got that feel. It kind of makes me just, like, I was listening to it, I was kind of jamming out a little bit. I'm like, damn, this kind of makes me want to just go back and play more of that game. It's highly recommended by a lot of people. I know, like, I've seen it on Twitter and stuff. That's the reason I initially downloaded it, and it's on Game Pass. So I was like, it's like the thing with Game Pass is like it's such like a feast. Is I'll go in there and be like, oh, I should download these 12 games, and then I'll just kind of hop around, and I don't commit, and that's my problem. But hearing that song, just like, man, this sounds like something I can get into just from the sound of the song. I don't know.
There's a lot of other music in the game that's just like that too. So if you like what you heard there, they do a lot of cool variations. They bring like themes back for songs later on in like different worlds and things like that. It's just a really excellent game with a really, really beautiful soundtrack, I think. And totally like bang for your buck in terms of gameplay. That's a long game. I think it took me probably 40 hours to get through. So for whatever it sells for these days, you will certainly get your money's worth. Cool. So what do you got next for me?
Let's see. What did I have here? I had something.
I brought music.
I brought a track. Oh,
dude. Yes. All right, go ahead.
I brought a Short Hike song. This is the first song that plays in the game, or at least one of them. Is it the first song? It should be. I think it is. From memory, I remember this playing at least like maybe it's the first time you do like a glide, something like that. I don't know, but The Short Hike has a really incredible soundtrack. Super chill. I love it to death. I've listened to it. I don't even know how many times on YouTube and stuff, just in the background doing stuff. I'll be doing a chore. The Short Hike soundtrack's playing. It's this is one of the most recommendable games. I almost like, let's just put it on the quest log right now. I know I'm not saying let's do that, but we both love it so much. So, but
Yeah.
the soundtrack's just killer.
Absolutely, yeah. It's funny. As soon as I opened this up and saw what the track was, as I was putting my list of 5 picks together, I had to bust out my poker skills a little bit because I was like, there's a pretty good chance Josh is going to bring a track from A Short Hike. But then if he doesn't, then I need to bring a track from A Short Hike because there's not any better soundtrack for a chill theme. This is such a chill game and one that we both love so much. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to call that he has good cards in his hand, and I'm just going to assume he's bringing one, free up one of my slots, and it worked out for me. So awesome.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
So this is actually probably, it's hard to pick my favorite track, but this is really up there. I would probably say this is my favorite track in the game. Just super chill, and just it puts a smile on my face. So let's listen to Somewhere in the Woods from A Short Hike. Dude, that song just fills me with joy. That's the only way I can describe it.
Absolutely. And what I love about the soundtrack in that game is there are like little pieces, like one or two parts of a song will then show up in other parts of a different track too. Like you get that little just kind of like bow, 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 bow. That is just so catchy, so upbeat. It's just, what a feel good game.
Yeah, it has a lot of like, hi, how you doing?
Josh says hi.
Hello.
Coffee delivery.
What was I saying? Oh, okay. There's a lot of there. I do love those little motifs when, especially, I always think about to like musicals, musical theater and stuff, where they have like that, like you said, that little like four note like chorus or four note just sound that you hear in multiple of the tracks, which is really nice. This song gives me a little bit of Yoshi vibe. I think it's just mostly the sound effects. Oh, yo. However you say, I can't do them, but yeah, those sound effects in the background just give me that just peaceful island feel, which that game does start on an island, and it kind of is on an island. So I just think it just gives you those good vibes. And if you guys haven't listened to the soundtrack, we're probably going to recommend all these soundtracks to you guys, but
yeah,
definitely this is one of my favorites, at least in recent years. So, Steve, what's your next pick or next song?
All right. So earlier we were talking about whether or not we thought Minecraft counted as an indie. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, my next one definitely counts as an indie, but I swapped it out at the last second. So I originally had a track from Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and I was like, Ori's indie, that's legit. But then I was like, well, Will of the Wisps, they're like a studio that's owned by Microsoft at this point, getting a little dicey, and I was like, I could swap it back to a Ori and the Blind Forest track, but I just mixed it up and went for a totally different direction. Although people should listen to the Ori soundtrack.
I would have gave you a pass because it's Moon Studios and they develop it all themselves. It was just Microsoft who basically publishes them, and they probably do fund some of the stuff. But I don't know. It is kind of on the line, but I probably would have gave you a pass.
You're too generous of a co-host. You should have just kicked me off.
Not indie enough. Get out of here.
so instead, I brought a track from Halo. No, so the song I actually brought here is from the Monument Valley soundtrack. So Monument Valley, a game that I am pretty sure you've played and enjoyed, but for anyone unfamiliar with it, is a primarily mobile indie game. I'm not actually sure if it's on other platforms, but it's kind of a relatively simple puzzle game that uses sort of MC Escher style environments, sort of like stuff that couldn't really exist, and weird kind of like trippy angles, and I don't even know how you would describe it. Just like stuff that isn't logical, basically.
The one I hear on gaming podcast is non-Euclidean geometry. I always hear that. That's, if you look it up, it does make sense. It's basically where if you go to a shape, it might not be exactly what you expect it to be, and it plays with your perspective. So, yeah, like MC Escher, like you said. And I didn't recently play these games. I played these games like same time I played Normal Lost Phone. It was like that same exact weekend I played both of these games, and I just loved them.
They're super... Honestly, the games fit this theme of this episode really well, because they're just chill, easy, pretty, very colorful games. The soundtrack, you could pick any song off of these soundtracks and it would fit perfectly, because it's all super relaxing, kind of light synths, a little bit of strings, stuff like that. But I brought Oceanic Glow, which is one of the songs that plays later on in the game. And it's a little bit of a longer track, but it builds up really well, and I like the way that it starts soft and sort of builds into something that is almost a little more hype, but just kind of is a little more rich. So this is Oceanic Glow by, I believe, Obfusc from the Monument Valley soundtrack. So, fresh, revisiting it for the first time in a few months since you played the game. Did it hit you just as hard as it did the first time? Just as good of a song as you remember?
Yeah, and I can see the scene. I'm a very visual person. I have a very visual memory, so I can see the scene playing out in my head as I'm listening to it. So, yeah, it's beautiful. I love that game to death. I played the first one in one sitting. They're not very long, like 2 hours, right? 2.5,
something
maybe.
like that.
And I played the sequel, which I like the sequel a little bit more, maybe, and I played that one twice now. I replayed it recently, but these games are just they're highly recommended. I wouldn't be surprised if we had that as an indie pick later on down the line, if we did like an all mobile indie pick or something, down the line or something. But that song just really hits you in the feels. I don't know. It just gives me a good feels. I'm very bad at describing my emotions right now. I'm sorry.
He's crying, people. He's crying. I gotta boost him up. I think it's even more effective when you've played the game. What the part is. Not that it's like an incredibly story-rich game, but they do a lot with a little. Sort of like minimalism is kind of a theme across the whole game. So that song ends up landing pretty well for the section of the story or section of the game that it's in. And yeah, I 100% would recommend either one of these games, and 100% would probably bring them to a future indie quest. So, if this is your first episode in like 2023 and we've already released 200 episodes and you're like, I just randomly going to pick this one to start on, maybe go check the quest log because it's probably on there by now.
True. Yeah. So man, I brought another song. My third pick here.
All right.
From one of my favorite indie games of all time, Night in the Woods.
Nice.
This game hit me at like the perfect time, I think. It's a very introspective game, which this will probably be on the quest log. I'm definitely going to bring this one day. I just need to find the right moment, so I won't go too deep into my passion for this game. Let's just say I really love it, and it really hit me and spoke to me from the story standpoint. And there's this very specific scene in the game where the character goes to like this lakeside and they have this really just like real and raw conversation. And it's just like the art style for the game is kind of like looks almost hand drawn, but not really. Kind of has like a almost painterly feel to it. Super nice, like sunset in the background. This lake, you see the two characters on the very left side of the screen, and they just have this super brutal and raw conversation. And it's one of those scenes that hit me just, it gets like, it's like a punch to the gut. You kind of get that, just raw feeling during the scene, and the music that swells and plays in the background as it's playing out is just incredible. And the song's called Greg's Woods from Night in the Woods. So what do you think, man? How'd you like the song?
That was some good music, and it gets me pretty excited to finally get around to playing this one. So, confession time. I've never played Night in the Woods. If I was to put together a list of some of the games that I feel the worst about having never played, like kind of the biggest games hanging over my head, I feel like Night in the Woods would be on that list. Like, it's one of those that anytime someone has played this that I know, they have fallen in love with it and they highly recommend it. So a lot of people I trust, you included, have kind of nudged me. So I think I definitely want to play it pretty soon.
Okay, well, let's pitch an episode idea. Maybe not anytime super soon, but how about we both play it again. I'll go ahead and play it again, and then you play it for the first time, and then we come back. Then we do like a general thoughts of the game, and then we do like a little spoiler at the end of an episode or something like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm down for a nice deep dive on it. You can get the impressions from someone who's played it before and really loves it, and then fresh impressions from someone who just played through it. I think that sounds like a really good time.
Sweet. So we'll plan that for, I'm not sure if it'll be a full episode, but at least a segment of an episode or a part of an episode in the future. But yeah, dude, I love this game, and it's, like I said, it really resonated with me at the time, and this scene specifically stuck out so much to me. And it's one of the tracks from the game I'll just go back and listen to on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of feeling this song right now. So I definitely had to bring that today.
When it came out at the time, this is so just my brain firing on the wrong neurons. But when it came out around the same time as Thimbleweed Park, which was that sort of like inspired by old LucasArts point and click adventure type games. It was like a modern one of those. And I don't know, Thimbleweed Park, Night in the Woods, they both kind of conjure up this foresty sort of vibe. And my brain, knowing nothing about either of them, kind of got them crossed. And I did play Thimbleweed Park, and then much later I was like, wait, I haven't actually played Night in the Woods. I've just like been confusing it in my brain with the title of this other game. So I can finally separate them in my mind.
Yeah, and I would say this game actually has some things that could be comparable to in one of those games. It's definitely more narrative focused. There's not any puzzles or very little puzzles in that game in Night of the Woods. But anyway, man, that song just makes me feel relaxed. It's just a great memory, and that's a fantastic game. So I do look forward to talking with you about that game in the future.
Absolutely. That's going to be a fun episode.
So, what is your third song for the OST?
All right, so, we went from Night in the Woods, trees, vegetation. So I brought a song, my third pick is from Flower. It's from the Flower OST. There's a segue there. I think I nailed it. And yeah, this track, I think this is the track, I'm pretty sure. This is the one that played on PS3 when you would, when you would hover over an icon in the game library and it would play a little bit of music. PS5 does that too. Just plays like a little looping song, changes the background. This is the track that played during that, and so I always really strongly associate it with like, you don't know what you're gonna play, hover over that icon and be like, man, this seems pretty good right now, and then it's just so chill and it kind of like relaxes you, and you're like, yeah, I could go for some Flower right now.
We almost had a double pick on this one. This is the exact song. One of the songs I put in my list at first, and I took it out and replaced it.
That's epic.
So, I mean, one day we will do that, but damn, it was so close because it was literally on my list, and I had it left off, and I was like, no, I'm gonna switch it with this. I think I switched it with the Night in the Woods track instead. So, yeah,
man.
Anyway,
that's awesome. You almost brought Flower. I almost brought Short Hike. We're two ships passing in the night. All right, so this is Lazy Daydream from the Flower OST, composed by Vincent Diamante.
Dude, that just it's so tranquil. I love Flower so much. That game is just beautiful. I have so just really fond memories of like almost I haven't played every That Game Company game, but this one and Journey are just a fantastic, masterpieces in my opinion. So just hearing music from this just gives me that nice calming feeling.
Yep. It actually is probably one of my most frequent de-stress games. Like, work stress comes up or life just kind of is sort of kicking you and you want to play something, but like the stress or the anxiety is keeping you from being really in the mood to play much of anything. A lot of times I'll pop in Flower and it helps unwind me.
Yeah. And it's actually a good use of the motion controls.
For sure.
I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of the few games I would say that it has really good motion controls. And it's just a beautiful game. If you haven't played Flower, it's highly recommended.
Yeah, 100%. Another one that's you'll see it on a future. It'll appear on the quest log. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, down the line.
But what do you got next for me?
So this is the one where I'm like, it's a little bit of a caveat because it's from Teenage Blob, that little mini game I played like long on stream a while back.
All right.
So basically what the Teenage Blob is, it's a mini game. They made little like cheesy, almost like Flash looking games for each of the songs for this LP. Like 6 songs, I think.
Cool.
And this one's just been in my rotation, this whole album, for like the longest time. So this is why I'm like, why at the top I'm like, not all my songs are super chill, but it gives you the good vibes. That's what this one is. I just included it because I've been listening to the soundtrack a lot lately, and the game is super short, it's super silly, and the music's just really good and just rocks, and I love it. So, it is Paper Person by the Super Weeks from the Teenage Blob soundtracks.
Feelings I can't forget from a broken heart, but if time heals all
All right, so first of all, great song. Really hitting me in my mid 2000s emo pop punk vibes. Absolutely wonderful. Is it in the theme of a chill music indie quest OST?
To me, it is. It's chill. I will put this on. I'll just feel chill. Listen to it. It brings me good vibes, man.
I'll give you this. There was that one section about 2 minutes in that had acoustic guitar for about 4 seconds. So maybe we can pull that piece out and say that's the chill part, and it just has a really long intro and a really long outro.
Okay, well, this is gonna get edited out anyway, and no one's gonna know. I'm gonna have 4, and they're just not gonna even notice that there's not a 5th one. So,
well, I don't want to deny the people the song you picked because it is a good song, but this will come up in your performance review at the end of the year. We'll just leave it at that.
I got 1 demerit for that, huh?
Yeah.
But I do think that I pretty much put it on here just to mention the game. It's because it's like $3 or something. It's super fun, and I think the soundtrack is just the game is just silly goofiness. I played it a couple times also, but it's like 20 minutes long or 30 minutes long. Super easy to play through. Just super chill, cheesy, and fun. And that music, that's the style of music I listen to a lot. I like pop punk. It's not the only genre I listen to, but it's good, like jamming out music, and it makes me feel good. So I use it, put it on here.
Now, it's very much my style of music too. So for as much as I'm giving you crap, it was a good song choice, introducing me to a good album and a good track. But
maybe not for this selection of songs. But anyway, what'd you pick for your next? It's number 4, right?
Yep, we're on number 4, and I'm feeling great right now. So my next track is also my most upbeat song, the one that I was a little nervous, like, hey, maybe this is a little too catchy for the chill vibes. But after your last pick, I'm good. I'm in the clear. I'm set. So this is a track from Cave Story, which hopefully everyone has played by now, but if not, I would highly recommend you do. This song plays, there's a section kind of like 2/3 of the way through where you get outside of like the caves and the network of places you've been in, and you scale this kind of outside wall. It's one of the first times you're exposed to the outside air. And you're high up, so you're kind of above the clouds. There's the moon in the background. And so this song is one of the more, I don't want to say subdued, but it's definitely one of the more chill songs in this soundtrack that is otherwise a soundtrack very punctuated by a lot of really upbeat, really catchy chiptune stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, why don't we give this one a listen? This is Moon Song or Outer Wall, depending on where you look. Composed, I believe, by Pixel, the developer, from the Cave Story soundtrack.
I don't know what you were worried about, man. That song was perfectly fine. Super chill. Way more chill than my song, right?
I think so. You know, in listening to it back again, fourth or fifth time here, I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's just, you know, that's the type of song that I would throw on if you have to like go somewhere late night, drive off. Maybe you got to go pick something up from this 24-hour store, or you just want to hit up some fourth meal at Taco Bell or something, and it's a nice starry night sky out. That's a real chill song that you can drive to.
Oh, that sounds good right now, Taco Bell. Anyway, I can't recall if I've beat this game, but I love the art style, and it's a great story. The guy did everything by himself. It's a one-man team. So you think that'll probably it might eventually make its way onto like an episode 2, I would assume.
Oh yeah.
Cave Story?
Absolutely
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, that's one of those classic indie titles. I remember playing that game when it was freeware. Like yeah, way back when he first put it out. It was freeware for the longest time, and then it came out on 3DS and a bunch of other stuff. So the game's excellent, and I'd never really thought about using the soundtrack as like background noise or whatever. So definitely is more on my radar to like throw into some playlists here to listen and chill out and vibe to.
Absolutely. A lot of the songs on the soundtrack are a lot more upbeat, a lot catchier, kind of more traditional. Not traditional, but just, you know, a lot more head boppy type of chiptune stuff. But there are a couple like more vibe style songs like that one.
I forgot what my last one is.
Uh-oh. All right. So, Josh, why don't you tell me what your fifth pick is here?
It's called Rip and Tear from the Doom Eternal. No, I'm just kidding. It's Bug Snacks from. I forgot I put this on here. Oh my god, this is a Bug Snacks theme song. This is a chill song.
This one's a bop. All right.
It's a chill song. This one's actually chill. This one would probably more upbeat chill, but it's chill.
Yeah.
I love this song. It's been over. Okay, I'll stop. I'm laughing too hard, and it's hard for me to talk. Anyway, you enjoy it? I
really liked it a lot, actually. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, and not that that's a bad thing. It's just it has some more layers than what some of the marketing leads you to believe. Also, tragically, this song doesn't show up until the credits, so I was waiting for it. But you have to earn this song.
There's not like a late title screen and this starts playing at all or anything?
If there is, I missed it. Nope, I didn't hear it once until the credits rolled.
Well, let's listen to this bop, this certified bop, by Quiero Bonito. It's Bug Snacks.
Somebody and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find them hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to snack to Thailand and discover it's Bug Snacks. I heard that somewhere far off in the ocean there lies an island where the creatures roam. A famed explorer tells me they're delicious, and yet they're hitherto unknown. You might think it sounds impossible till you've seen a carrot crawl. Kind of bug and kind of snack, try to catch them in your trap. Feed somebody and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find them hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to snack to Thailand and discover it's Bug Snacks. So grab a journal, listen up, and make some new friends to solve the mystery. An expedition, 13 strong of rumpuses, who all set off, seeking out a better life on Snack Tooth Island. They did find a tasty quest to fill the hole that many feel inside their soul. Venture deep to reach the truth, and maybe you'll learn something too. You might think it sounds impossible till you've seen a sandwich climb a wall. Kinda bag and kinda snack, try to catch them in your trap. Feed somebody and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find them hiding in the stands, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to Snap to Thailand and discover it's bag snacks. It's bag snacks. Talking about bug snacks. It's bag snacks. Everyone's talking about bug snacks. It's bag snacks.
Ooh.
Bug
Dude, I love that
snacks.
song. I love that song, man. That definitely fits the chill vibes, though, for sure. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what can you say other like how do you describe the big dumb smile in your face when you listen to that song? It's just good.
Yeah, and it's so catchy. It gets stuck in my head so often, and I just was thinking just now that it's going to be stuck in my head again for probably another month. But that's fine. That's fine. It's one of those things that I don't mind, like doing the dishes and just bug snacks just to myself. Why not?
Yeah,
you know, I don't.
Exactly. It's gonna go down in the video game song Hall of Fame, I think, right? Like you'll be listening to Bug Snacks on the same album that you're listening to like Still Alive or the Portal song.
Yeah, our moon theme from DuckTales or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's not an indie song, but that's an amazing song. Anyway, what is your fifth song?
All right, so
Oh, this is a finale too. What's the finale to the episode?
a little bit of a vibe shift, you know.
Okay. All right.
We're going from bopping some Cara Bonito Bug Snacks action to a much what I think of as a much sadder, much more somber piano piece. This is from To the Moon, which is a game that I take every opportunity to sing the praises of. Kind of a visual novel with some light puzzle solving that I am absolutely head over heels for. This song, it's a piano piece, and it's actually a song that is very kind of relevant to the story of the game. There is like an in-game piano in this song comes up. Anyone that has played To the Moon knows that this is a very emotional game. It's very heavy, and so sometimes it's a little hard to go back and listen to the soundtrack without having some of those feelings well back up. But it's just such a beautiful song that I thought it would be a good one to leave us off on because it's just so kind of, you know, serene, just a beautiful piano piece. All right, so this is For River by Kan Gao and Laura Shigihara from the To the Moon OST.
Confession, I've never played this game.
You've never played To the Moon?
Nope.
What if I was to tell you that I painstakingly made a list of my favorite games of the last decade, and that it was one of the 10 best games I'd played in the 2010s?
Yeah, I was there for that stream, and another game that was on there was Outer Wilds, and I haven't played that either. So I got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I'll forgive you. I mean,
I'll bring it. I will play it in the near future. In 2021, I will play this game, and we'll talk about it. What do you say? That gives me a huge window.
For sure. I respect it, and I will allow you up until 2021. But if you let it go any further past that, you goofed, and you're off.
You're probably just gonna cancel the show. Oh no, you're just gonna kick me off. You're not gonna cancel the show.
No, it's gonna be a one-man podcast. I'm just gonna recommend all the best games.
Travis, you're just gonna get Travis from Polykill. Hey, let's just do Indie Quest 2.
Exactly, and he'll come in and we'll argue about Super Meat Boy, and then who gets to bring Super Meat Boy, and then that'll be that.
Anyway, dude, this song's amazing. I love a really somber piano piece like that. It's chilling a little bit, I would say. I don't know where it affects like what the story that goes along with it, but it's kind of has like almost like a somber, almost haunting feel to it. Especially near the end, they start playing. I'm not like super talented when it comes to reading music or hearing tones and beats or whatever, but I definitely heard a lot of minor keys near the end of that song. So, and it actually ends just like on a minor key too. So, kind of gives you that little bit of a sad feeling.
Very melancholy. The whole soundtrack is very melancholy, which is pretty in keeping with the tone of the game. I mean, the game is sad with like with a lot of heart and a lot of humanity and optimism in there too. And I think that the soundtrack reflects that pretty well, which is wild because, you know, this is primarily the project of Kan Gao, the one guy. I know that he had help composing some of the music, and he did have some, I think, help on a couple other things, but it's crazy when these people produce these incredible games largely just like as a labor of love by one person.
Yeah, and this is amazing. Like, the music's amazing, the game's amazing. Like, they're just, how do you have so much talent? I don't get it.
Some people, I know, it's almost insulting how impressive they are.
Like, sometimes I can't even like put on my pants correctly, and people are sitting here making an entire video game with everything. So no, I don't really have problems putting on my pants. It was a joke. Okay, guys? Anyway. I think that's going to call it for this episode of somewhat chill games for the IQ OST. How are you feeling about this collection of songs we brought to the table today?
Feeling good. I feel like a lot of good games represented here. I added some new tracks to my chill playlists in YouTube. And yeah, this one was hard for me. I don't know about for you, but I had so many songs I wanted to bring that I couldn't. I think indie games and chill music go together pretty well. So I wouldn't be surprised if down the line you see another chill Indie Quest OST episode crop up in your feed.
I'll make sure to bring a bunch more pop punk songs next time to that list.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just go right to the heart of it and just bring your favorite Good Charlotte songs, right?
Ooh. No, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, first off, I want to say, guys, if you guys are enjoying these episodes, let us know for sure. Also, if you have any suggestions, for an IQ OST, let us know. Like, hey, maybe you guys should do these songs or whatever, or even recommend some songs. We're open to having that audience discussion.
Absolutely, yeah. Anything we can do to make the show better or involve any of the wonderful listeners, we're definitely down for.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the show. And it's time for the plugs.
Plugs.
The plug snacks.
There we go.
Anyway, you can find me at Frantic Society and all of the wacky stuff I do, which includes way too many podcasts. Steve, where can people find you and all your awesome content?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch and on Twitter as Blinkoom. That ends with an M. M like music is very good. Also, if you want to follow the show, You can stay up to date with us on Twitter at IndieQuestPod.
And like I said, we want your community, just feedback in general. Any thoughts on indie games, questions, feedback for the show. Call me an asshole for using a pop-up song. We'll read it on the show. I like hearing my name on a podcast that I'm a fan of, which if I have the opportunity, I try to write into shows and hear my name. Like, hey, they had to say my name. So if you want that opportunity, you can do that. And you can also follow us, like you said, on Twitter. And the email address is indiequestpod@gmail.com. And your stuff will most definitely get read on the show in the future. And also, we're part of the Polykill Network now.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with the Polykill Network, it is a network of awesome shows, which all meet or exceed the quality of IndieQuest that you've come to expect. Including another show that I'm on, the flagship Polykill podcast itself, where we talk about beating games and generally goof around. We also got some other shows like Drunk Friend Podcast, where Trav and Alex interview a whole wide variety of guests, a lot of very talented people. I don't know how they know so many people with so many different skills and abilities, but they have some awesome discussions over on that one.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the entire network. I am as much a part of the network as I am a fan. I love all these shows, and one that's probably about as old as ours, around the same time frame, started coming out as PD's Power Hour, where she talks about alcohol. And I don't really know a lot about a hard alcohol at all. I'm really terrible at finding stuff that's good, or I'm good at finding beer that tastes okay for myself, but I've never been good at finding cocktails or alcohol or know anything about alcohol. And it's very educational, and I enjoy that show quite a bit.
Yeah, we're both, I think, fans of the network that just kind of loved it enough to eventually want to put something out there as a part of the network. Other shows include Off Kilter, which is one that I'm sure Trav would be upset that I'm even mentioning, but is a very relaxed discussion show, kind of comedy-based. And then Tales of the Lesser Medium, which is a pretty impressive podcast if you've never listened to it before. Very structured episodes covering the stories of different games. They've covered Resident Evil, they've covered Tomb Raider, and you get to kind of learn the story and get told a lot of jokes at the same time. So definitely check out what Travis and Caleb are doing on Tales of the Lesser Medium.
That's the show right there that will get those public embarrassed laughing going on, you know, like you're working or you're shopping or something, whatever you're doing in public, and you're laughing and people are giving you those looks like, why is he just laughing at nothing, you know?
Yeah,
that's that show for me. I love that show to death. So I think that's it for today's episode. Steve, why don't you say goodbye to the beautiful people out there?
Thanks everybody for listening. Have a good rest of your day or evening, and try to keep your vibes somewhere between piano music that makes you cry and just pop punk music.
Bye.
Bye.
My recommendation is Homer tries marijuana. Simpsons.
that was your autoplay.
Yeah,
dude,
it is chill lo-fi beats, but is Homer literally trying marijuana from that episode from like whatever season 10 or whatever it was.
What kind of like poison have you done to your YouTube recommendations? That's so funny. Oh my god.
Like I say, hey Josh, I'm trolling you right now. I know you're trying to edit this.
Hey Josh, it's Steve from the past. You're a great guy. You look really good today.
I'm like shirtless.
Ranch dressing dripping down your chest.
Eating Cheetos.
Yeah. God, are you dunking Cheetos in ranch? Jesus. How far have you fallen from grace? Awesome.